And then on March 25th of that year, you actually go on 60 Minutes. Well, you and your lawyer, Avenatti, go on 60 Minutes, which is the biggest news show in the world, essentially. Right. And they do their proper due diligence, like the Wall Street Journal. So now this story's out there and you're telling your side of the story and it's all over the place. Are things getting kind of crazier and crazier as this progresses?
Of course. And I got offered so much money from so many news outlets and things to tell that story. And I purposely chose to do 60 Minutes because they don't pay and they're respected news, that it was no way nobody could ever say, oh, they paid me to do it or I did it for the money.
Right.
I lost out on several $100,000. I could have sold that story. I could have broke that story up and sold bits and pieces. I mean, you know how media works. I could have made a ton of money. I opted to take none, much to the dismay of my agent, by the way. And I'm still not happy with the way that it came out because they still focused way too much on they grilled me for 3.5 hours. And that piece was how many minutes?
60 Minutes.
No, it wasn't. There was 2 other stories.
No, I'm saying. So 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 15 minutes, actually.
Yeah. It was
with a bunch of other interviews. Was that the 60 Minutes interview where you said that you spanked Trump with a Forbes magazine?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what they ran instead of all the other things I've told you. Like, it is what it is at this point, I guess.
Well, Trump on April 5th, 2018, he said he didn't know about the $130,000 payment.
Mm-hmm.
And he also said he didn't know why Cohen paid you and so forth. Then on April 19th, the FBI actually raids Cohen's office. They seize his emails, tax documents, everything else like that. And
that is the day that the spark hit the thing and blew up the powder keg because they traced that payment that came. If you're going to pay off a stripper, use cash. Or why would you wire the money from the bank account for the shell corp that you're funneling Russian money from? Right. So I was literally the spark that lit the powder keg.
And you're actually
unintentionally.
Right. And you're actually cooperating with the feds at this point.
Yeah. Well, I offered.
Yeah.
I was like, here's the copy of the wire. Here's this. Here's all of this.
And then Trump goes on Fox and Friends and he said, Cohen would represent me on some things. And he represented me on something like this whole Stormy Daniels crazy situation. And that was the first time that he actually admitted,
said my name,
said your name and connected you and him.
Yep.
How'd you feel when he actually said your name?
I don't know. I'm not even going to say vindicate. I mean, it was just I don't know.
Okay. So then Trump gets a new lawyer, Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually said that Trump actually reimbursed Cohen for the payment.
I mean, it's like the whole thing is like a poorly written SNL skit.
Right. The whole story now changes. He also said that Trump did know the general arrangement of Cohen's payment, but not the specifics, which actually contradicts what Trump said on April 5th about the whole thing.
It's like you can hear the circus music.
Then on May, Trump said that he tweeted that Cohen entered into a non-disclosure agreement with you, and that Cohen was reimbursed for $130,000 through a $35,000 retainer, and the money from the campaign or campaign contributions played no role in this transaction. So he's basically trying to separate campaign contributions and the $130,000 payment to you. I mean, it just gets messier and messier. And then right after that, you show up on Saturday Night Live, where you played yourself and Alec Baldwin played the Trump character.
Yes.
And I guess on that episode, Alec Baldwin, playing Trump said, "I know you don't believe in climate change, but a storm's a coming, baby."
Yep. Now I'm a meme.
What was it like to be on SNL?
That was the most amazing thing ever.
Right.
That's the thing. I should have just offed myself immediately after that because it's just not ever going to get any better because SNL is my favorite show. It's the only thing I've ever DVR'd. Don't talk to mommy while she's watching SNL. My dream job was to be a writer for SNL. what I wanted to do. And not only did I get asked to be on, I got to do the opening monologue. I got to say the iconic line, and it was one of the most star-studded cold opens ever. I met Scarlett Johansson, I met Alec Baldwin, Ben Stiller. Like, I mean, how fucking amazing. It was like a dream. And I have no shame in being like, it was almost worth the sex with Trump. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, because I got there and everybody stopped by and see me. I met, like, Steve Martin was in the audience that night. Like, all these people that are just, to me, are so amazing. And then Lorne Michaels was so kind and had me come and sit under the thing with him and his special guests to watch. And I mean, it's not ever gonna get any better than that.
Well, I guess during the course of this, was Trump trying to? Well, no, you were trying to sue Trump for defamation based on the statements.
No, that was still all the NDA stuff. Okay. I can't remember when the defamation thing happened, the exact date. You probably have it in front of you. Well, but Avenatti, Trump put up a mean tweet about me, saying like that I was a liar and a horse face and whatever. And I immediately fired back with a much better tweet, because Twitter is my favorite sport, and I'm way better at it than he is. And I was done. I was done with it. But Avenatti said that we should sue him for defamation. And I said, we absolutely fucking should not. First of all, I get told mean things 1,000 times a day. Even before this happened, like, I'm a porn star. It comes with the territory. And he's entitled to his opinion. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I wrote something way worse back at him. So let's just leave it alone. And mine was funnier. So like, I would like to end on this note. And he just kept pushing it. I found out on Twitter that lawsuit had been filed without my permission. And then it was pointed out to me, actually, a few weeks later by my manager and friends, that it actually was defamation. It wasn't that he said something mean about me or that he called me a horse face, which, of course, I used to twist back. I guess he likes bestiality because he was super into me. I mean, what does that say? You say I look like a horse face, but you tried to fuck me for a year straight. Okay. But that I could say to you, I think you're hideous. I think you are ugly. I think you're a jerk. And that's my opinion. I can say whatever I want.
Defamation.
But if I tell you, if I say you're a thief or you're a liar, that's different. And he said in his tweet that I was lying, that I'd made it up. And I guess that is defamation. That was Avenatti's spin on it. He has a point. I still would have opted not to move forward with that lawsuit. And then he fucked up the paperwork, as we all know. So,
well, Giuliani actually responded to this lawsuit. He said, when speaking about you, he said, the business you were in entitles you to no degree of giving your credibility any weight. Explain to me how she could be damaged. If you're going to sell your body for money, you just don't have a reputation. A woman who sells her body for sexual exploitation, I don't respect.
Exactly. And we can fast forward to this week, and apparently that sentiment is shared with everyone everywhere, because the whole thing that this has taught me is how terrible people are. Because first of all, going back, all encompassing the whole thing, there was never a time that I didn't see my name anywhere that wasn't prefaced with the word with the word porn star. Which I am. I am very, very proud of my work. But at least add and director. Come on. Stormy Daniels. I can't fathom that article, any news article would have said accountant Stormy Daniel or school teacher or homemaker. Like, it's only for the salaciousness of the word porn star. And then it was also immediately followed by my real name. And you don't see that happen to mainstream celebrities. Every time you see Bruno Mars' name, is it followed by his real name? Or Lady Gaga? No, it's because even the people who have the best intentions still inadvertently think of adult actresses or sex workers as less than human. And a couple of them that were those hardcore crazy feminists twisted it the other way. Say her name. Say her real name. And I'm like, didn't even think to ask you what I wanted to be called. You wouldn't misgender me. Like, can you imagine if one of these news articles put the wrong pronoun? No, but no one stopped to ask me how I wanted to be identified. So that was a big thing. And that I just couldn't possibly be telling the truth because I worked in adult films. It just goes to that whole thing. Oh, you can't rape a girl in a short skirt. She was asking for it. It's really fucking disgusting, honestly. And I have no credibility. I'm sorry. I managed millions of dollars for a company for 17 years. Yeah, it happens to be Wicked Pictures, which happens to be an adult film company. But do you know how much paperwork I did and how much money? Like, he'll tell you, I was solely responsible for millions of dollars for this company. I am very credible.